an amazing video done by Uplifter Video. Meeting the Roberts family was, just a morning that was so important to me. Sarah and Nathan, true warriors. I commented in the video that I went through treatment very similar to Sarah's, but did not have a son that has gone through cancer as well. And I just can't believe she's a hero. It's really all I can say is that she's a hero. And Nathan, I wish her both well.
Speaking of heroes, someone that is the executive director of Camp Good Days.
Hi, guys.
Lisa Booz.
Hi. I really like these. Can I have these?
Sure.
Can I go home with them? I feel very official. I want to start calling
Play
games.
video games.
Yeah.
You couldn't wait to match us.
I really did. I was watching on live stream. I'm like, there's no way they're going to make me wear that. Here I am.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Lisa, you referred us to the Roberts family, and thank you for that, because they are true. They love Camp Good Days. They, the way they speak about it is just so heartwarming. What you do for the community and these kids is really unbelievable.
We love them right back, and Mom was just diagnosed, so we've known them for a couple of years, and I remember vividly her bringing Nathan in, and you could tell in the video, he's really a shy kid. And when she came into the office, he was super bald. He was very shy, hiding behind her, and she was just super open with, how can you help us? He definitely needs to hang out with other kids. I cannot believe they're going through the same thing now with Mom. But the courage that she has, she still is like, well, I didn't have to go through what he went through.
Yeah. Big smile on her face, too.
Yeah, so, I feel privileged and honored to be able to help them in some very small way to get through their treatment or their journey. They're the real heroes.
What is your role with Camp Good Days?
I'm the regional director for Western New York, and I've been there for 15 years.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, I just celebrated my anniversary.
Years.
Yeah. And they're never getting rid of me.
Why would you want to leave anything?
They're never getting
that
rid of me.
So
I love my
most
job.
people know Camp Good Days. I don't know if they know exactly.
so.
Maybe just talk for a minute about what Camp Good Days is, the service provided, and how it affects young people's lives.
Yeah, the easiest way for me to kind of draw a line from is how we started. It explains what it is that we do. So in 1979, our founder's daughter was diagnosed with cancer, and at the time she was 9 years old. It was brain cancer, and she knew no one in her school, in her sports leagues, or whatever that had cancer. So it wasn't Gary, our founder, it wasn't the chemotherapy that bothered her the most. It wasn't the radiation or the 7.5-hour cradiotomy that bothered her the most. He noticed what bothered her the most is that she did not have friends. She didn't have anyone else that was going through what she was going through. So that's what Camp Good Days is all about. It's 40 plus years later, and that's still what it is about. We do everything for kids with cancer, from going to sporting events to concerts to holiday parties. But really, I feel like we could sit around playing Duck, Duck, Goose, and it would be just fine, because the kids are with other children that know exactly what it is that they're going through. But we like to do things that are really cool, too. So with money from things like the 11-day power play, we are able to do amazing things with these children year-round. So I know it says Camp Good Days. It's a little bit of a misnomer now. For the past 30-plus years, we've been doing year-round programs. So every single month, our kids have something to look forward to, someone to look forward to seeing.
And the parents as well?
Parents actually are not usually invited, Mike.
No, it's good for the parents because...
I'm like, yeah, parents aren't cool.
Look at the, there's just some pictures that we're showing of camp.
Yeah, from
and,
camp.
So
it's cool. Camp Good Days is cool also because we give the parents a respite.
Right.
So someone like Sarah, she was able to drop her child off. And I always tell moms, listen, this is the time that you take if you want to go grocery shopping or sit in your car and cry. Like, this is a time for you to take care of you. We're going to take care of your child. We have a pediatric oncology nurse with us at all times. There's usually nothing but Band-Aids that we have to worry about. But just in case, it makes the parents feel better. Like, okay, we have a nurse that they're familiar with that can take care of the children. It really is just a way to get away from the word cancer, if it's a couple hours or a couple of days or a week when we're at summer camp.
It just looks like such a happy place.
It is.
And I know that, kids with cancer go there, but their siblings can go there.
Yes.
And siblings of cancer patients, when they're kids, how do you help, the siblings?
Right. So back to when we started, it was just for kids with cancer. And then Gary noticed that as the kids were getting dropped off, in the back seat were the siblings. And he's like, wait a second, they're dealing with their siblings' mortality. This is terrible.
Right.
So it was at that point that they decided, okay, there should be something for them. And then we started something for children that have parents with cancer. So it's really, if you have cancer in your immediate family, Camp Good Days can help you. We also have women's oncology, men's oncology as well. So it's kind of a whole, we help the whole family.
How do the funds that, our players work so hard to fundraise all year long, like how do the funds that we give Camp Good Days help you?
Okay, so listen, the minute you guys posted that you hit 1 million, I called the staff. I'm like, let's go, we're planning. So it's not like the money leading up to that wouldn't have already paid for stuff, but I kind of felt like, okay, that gives us permission to plan. We have money coming in. So October 2nd is our first post-pandemic event that's coming in, because we don't have money coming in.
Wow.
I mean, no charities do. Who can give right now? So we had a drive-in that we did in May, but we already had funds put aside for that. As soon as you hit 1 million, we're like, all right, October 2nd, we're going to Kelkenberg Farm.
Wow.
Awesome. And we're also planning as the year goes on. Because listen, you guys have been saying it a lot too. Cancer doesn't stop, so neither are we. All right, well, our families still need us. I can't fathom going through cancer as if you didn't already pick the short straw. And then you have this, when people say when you're fighting an illness or you're going through death, the worst thing is isolation. Well, here we go. We're serving up just isolation for you. Yeah.
And the pandemic has affected so many, and I know that the players this year, some of the players really struggled at asking for money during a time where people are losing their jobs. And, once we were able to explain that, yes, but some people still can support. Some people are still working, and those donations coming in are really doing such good. So we can't stop, and we're not stopping, and we clearly just hit 1 million. So
thank you. Thank you.
Proof.
Please don't stop giving. Please. I mean, it's proof. We weren't doing anything for our kids, and it's not just because of the pandemic. And no money, that we have to be socially distant. It's because no money was coming in. So now we know money's coming in. That's it. We're doing stuff. So whatever can be outside, whatever is socially responsible for us to do, we're doing it.
Great.
These kids need
Awesome.
us. They miss us, and we miss them. So thank you, everyone, for giving, because we help hundreds of kids in Western New York. You have no idea. You can't fathom possibly the amount of help that you are giving to these kids. It's giving them something to look forward to.
And you just said it's Western New York kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So local kids.
Local kids are getting the help, and I mean, I have a million stories I could tell, but we have kids that having major depression through all of this. So they beat cancer, okay? Yay. But they missed a couple years of school while they were going through treatment. Now they're back at school, and now they're in isolation because of the pandemic, and now the depression that was around there during cancer, it's resurfaced, and they're teenagers. It's like camp is their only outlet to feel normal again. So you guys are helping us help kids feel normal.
At our captain's meeting, I forgot the little girl's name, but
Madison.
She could not speak. She went on. We had to give her the old, hook, because, and she kept raving about it. She's like, why I love camp. Brrr, the scroll comes out, and it was so cute. But she was totally.
She convinced our players that we need to
beautiful.
do the best we can to support.
I mean,
yeah. And so just seeing the story we just saw, and it's just so heartwarming.
So Lisa, the 11-day Power Play supports research and all the amazing, stuff that Roswell does, and all cancers matter. For the 11-day, we've always supported immunotherapy, and tonight we have two teams playing against each other.
I saw purple and green.
And there's lime for lymphoma. They're representing lymphoma, and purple for pancreatic cancer.
That's awesome.
So that's our theme this year. I'm sure you walked in and you were like, why aren't things like blue and light blue and white?
I love it.
Yeah. So
we opened it up with lavender because it's all cancers, white and lavender. And then yesterday was black and white.
What's black?
Black is sarcoma.
Melanoma.
I'm sorry. Melanoma.
Okay.
White is lung.
I have to keep him on track.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm getting there. So yeah, that was, and then as the week goes on. So when these guys show up and girls show up, they don't know what their jersey colors will be, and there's some really cool ones.
That's awesome.
So we look kind of. It's fun to watch their expression, and then having some discussions. I had 2 discussions. One was talking about a friend who had just gotten 1-year anniversary of being free of pancreatic cancer,
Wow.
and he was wearing purple. Coincidence. And one was the other end of the spectrum where he had a relative pass of pancreatic cancer recently. Both were purple. No, not planned at all, but they were like, wow, that's interesting. So now they have another way to connect, and in one instance, give the jersey to his friend who beat cancer. So we're gonna hopefully have a positive impact in that way with reminding people that all these cancers have their own problems, and we'll also talk about some of the research we're doing later.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Check out some of our jerseys in this upcoming video.